And good afternoon, everyone. It's time for Strat-O-Matic Baseball. Spokane Steve here. We got a ball game today between the Boston Red Sox and the Detroit Tigers. What appears on the surface to be two evenly matched clubs. Boston comes in at 7-8 on the season. Detroit 9-8. And two pitchers that have fared well in the replay so far. Jose Santiago, he's right-handed, isn't he? Yes, he is, against the lefty Mickey Lolich. Santiago, a pretty good year, 3.66 in 28 starts. Lolich, high for him, 4.77. 66, not one of his best years, but still a solid 14-14. 173 strikeouts in 204 innings. Let's check the replay stats on these guys. Santiago's just been in one game in relief. He worked 3 innings, allowed 1 hit and a run. 1 walk, 1 strikeout. So 3 innings and 1s across the board. 1 hit, 1 run, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Lolich is 3-1 in 4 starts. He has 1 complete game shutout, a 2.48 ERA across 29 innings of work with 27 hits and 23 strikeouts. And let's cue up the crowd noise here. There we go. As the Tigers take the field. Wanted to talk about Santiago a little bit before we get underway. I was looking him up and I noticed that he was pretty good for several years and it fizzled out very quickly and very young. By the age of 28, he came up. 1963 only pitched 7 innings, but in 64, 84 innings. 65, he spent most of the year in the minors, but 66 through 68, he was a very good pitcher. And then suddenly he just dropped off the face of the earth. So I looked him up, and here's what I found out. In 1968, Santiago appeared in just 18 games, every one as a starter. He was 9-4 with a sterling 2.25 ERA in the year of the pitcher. He was on a roll from the 67 season and won his first 4 decisions, a string of 12 straight wins without a defeat. On June 13th, in a nightmare incident, one of Jose's pitches hit Paul Shaw and fractured his skull. Shaw was out for weeks, came back for just 2 more appearances in early August, but did not return to Major League play until 1969. The incident shook Santiago. Jim Murray wrote of the Los Angeles Times, wrote of Santiago's weeping at Shaw's hospital bed and wondered in print in late 71 that Santiago was never the same pitcher afterward, writing because his elbow or something was bothering him. He did play some winter ball after that. He re-injured his elbow in late spring of 69. So apparently a combination of regret over fracturing Paul Shaw's skull and arm problems derailed Santiago's career. And welcome, Kenyon. Yes, 2 saves for Santiago and 3 for Lolich. They pretty much used him when they needed him, didn't they? I mean, these guys pitched until their arms fell off back in that day. Remember Lolich's 1971 season? My God, he worked over 300 innings that year. That's one I remember vividly. So let's get the Red Sox lineup here, and then we'll set Detroit for you defensively. They're going to have George Thomas leading off, Joe Foy in the customary number 2 spot, Yaz bats 3rd, George Scott bats cleanup, Tony C. Conigliaro in right bats 5th, Rico Petrocelli 6th, Mike Ryan, the catcher, hits 7th, George Smith bats 8th, Santiago bats 9th. Detroit defensively will have Bill Freehan, of course, catching Lolich. The infield, Norm Cash at first, Jerry Lumpy at second, Dick McAuliffe at short, and Don Wirt at third base. In the outfield, Gates Brown will be in left field today. That could prove to be an adventure. Don Demeter's in center, and Jim Northrup's in right. Al Kaline getting the day off. He says he feels good enough to pinch hit. Just didn't want to play the field today. So we could see him later in the game as a pinch hitter. Okay, ready to get underway here. I woke up before it was light out even and played a morning game. George Thomas standing in. Lolich is ready to go. Let's look up Thomas's numbers. He's only been in 5 ball games. He's 4 for 14. That's 286. He does have 1 home run. Right-handed batter. Lolich getting his sign now from freehand. Here's the windup and the pitch. 6'3", right-handed, grounded to the pitcher X. That's going to be 4E21. Go ahead and look for that. And here's the roll on the play. 4E21 is 17. So it's E21 on a roll of a 9, and Lolich has it and throws him out. Nice play, Mickey. 1-3X. Thomas is retired. There's 1 down, and we are underway. And here comes Joe Foy now, the right-handed hitting third baseman. He's batting .344. Leads the club in homers with 3. Actually, he's tied with... No, he does not. I take that all back. Petrocelli has 3, but George Scott leads the club with 4. 5 RBIs for Foy, right-handed hitter. Lolich, big leg kick now. Here it comes. 1-9 left-handed. That's a triple to 10. On an 18, that's down in the gap for extra bases. Foy rounding, and he'll hold up at second with a stand-up double. Let's take another quick look at that one. 1-9 left-handed, triple to 10. The roll is an 18, and Foy is indeed in with a stand-up double. And good afternoon to Mike C. Mike, you have no idea. I woke up at 3 a.m., tried to go back to sleep several times, and finally said, the hell with it, put the coffee on. I did take a nap between this morning's game and now. Runner on second and 1 down, Carl Yastrzemski steps up to the plate. He's hitting .250 on the season, 2 home runs, 8 RBIs. Yastrzemski out to a little bit of a slow start for him. Left on left now, Lolich delivers. 3-7, fly ball to right field and playable for Jim Northrup. He drifts to his right a bit and makes the catch for the out. And here's George Scott, the aforementioned home run leader on the ball club with 4. He has 6 RBIs. 2 down now, runner in scoring position. Lolich into the windup. Here's the pitch to Scott. 3-6 left-handed. Base hit into center field, an open single. Foy can try to score on that. Demeter's a -1. Foy not great speed. 11 with 2 outs, 13, -1, 12. Here he comes. Here comes Demeter's throw, and he's in there on a 3. Holy cow. Foy made it pretty easily. Scott a 13. Should he go down to second? That would be 8, 1 through 7. No, he'll stay at first. RBI single for George Scott, though, and it's 1-0 Boston. And here's Tony C. Tony hitting .242, 3 home runs, and he leads the club in RBIs with 11. Lolich trying to limit the damage here from the stretch. Pitch to Tony, 6-5, right-handed, grounder to third. Wirt has it, throws him out, and that will retire the side. Boston gets 1 run on 2 hits. They leave 1. After half an inning, it's Boston 1, Detroit coming to bat. And we'll give you the Detroit lineup now. Dick McAuliffe back in the leadoff spot at short. Jerry Lumpy hit second. Stormin' Norm Cash in the customary 3 spot in the order. Jim Northrup will bat cleanup today. Gates Brown gets his first start of the year in the field, mostly a pinch hitter, of course. He bats fifth. Don Wirt will hit sixth. Don Demeter, the center fielder, hit seventh. Bill Freehan will do the catching and bat eighth, with Alolich hitting ninth. Setting the Red Sox defensively, it will be Ryan catching Santiago, an infield from first to third of Scott, Smith, Petrocelli, and Foy, with the outfield left to right, Yastrzemski, Thomas, and Canigliaro. You know, I'm sure that to some extent they did, Kenyon. How could you not? There was a Bill James article about that in the 80s, about players altering their stroke to try to hit it off the monster, or in some cases, over the monster. Here's McAuliffe stepping in to lead it off, left-handed batter. McAuliffe hitting .264, 3 homers, 10 RBIs, and he's also drawn 16 walks. So 14 hits and 16 walks. He's among the league leaders in on-base percentage. Santiago, the righty, gets his sign from Ryan now. Here's the pitch to McAuliffe. 6-7 left-handed. It's a grounder to second base X. That's going to be Smith, a 2E28. Smith moving to his left now. On a 1, it's through. He's not going to get it. That's going to be a base hit. That would have been a tough play for anybody, and McAuliffe is aboard. So Dick McAuliffe with a leadoff single here. Not a threat to steal, solid 1 through 14 runner. And here's Jerry Lumpy. Lumpy comes in batting .309, 2 home runs, 8 runs batted in. So you'd certainly have to say that Lumpy has gotten the most out of his card so far. Runner not held. Santiago now working from a stretch. Here's the pitch to Lumpy on a 1-7, a fly ball into center field. Thomas coming in on it. He makes the catch for the out. 1 down. And here comes Norm Cash. Cash, a consistent left-handed power hitter for many years, comes into the game hitting just .220. 2 home runs, 7 RBIs. Santiago gets the sign from Ryan now. From the stretch, the pitch to Cash. 1-4 against a righty is a fly to left field. Yastrzemski backing up a bit and puts it away. So Cash perhaps trying to slice one off of the wall. I didn't hit it quite hard enough, and that's an easy play for Yaz. And with 2 out, Jim Northrup will come to bat. Northrup's hitting .294. Just 1 homer and 1 RBI. He's only been in 8 games, 5 for 17. Santiago trying to get out of the inning now as he delivers to Northrup. 1-10 right-handed. It's over the bag, on first base bag, and down into the corner, bouncing around. Canigliaro to pick it up. Here comes McAuliffe in to score. Northrup into third with an RBI triple, and it's a tie ball game. Holy cow. Let's take another look at that one. 110 righty, triple to 14 on a 13. He just does get in there. And for Northrup, that's his second triple of the season. He did hit 6. How about that? In about, 2/3 of the season worth of at bats. And here's Gates Brown with a runner at third and 2 down. Brown, of course, is a pinch hitter. He's 1 for 2 as a pinch hitter. 1 run batted in. Santiago now the full windup. And the pitch to Gates. 1-6 right-handed. A single to 2, but on a 6, that liner's going to find the glove of George Scott, and that'll retire the side. So liner to first ends the inning, and the Tigers come right back with a run on 2 hits and leave a man. And we're all knotted up at 1 after 1 inning. Having my last cup of coffee of the day. After this, it's decaf tea from now on. Rico Petrocelli will lead things off for the Red Sox. Rico comes in at 273. 3 home runs, 8 runs batted in. Lolich getting the sign now from Freehand into the windup. The pitch to Rico. 1-8 left-handed is a 2-hopper to short. McAuliffe has it. Over to Cash. 1 away. And here's Mike Ryan, the catcher. Ryan in there more for his defensive ability than his bat. He comes into the game hitting just 133. That's 4 for 30. He does have a single RBI. Lolich into the windup now. Pitch to Ryan. 6'4", right-handed is a grounder to third base X. That's going to be Wirt. No, that's going to be... Yes, that's going to be Wirt. Excuse me, a 2E13. Wirt very steady at third. Here's the roll on the play. On a 5. Nice play, Wirt. Stabs it on a hop and throws him out. 5-3X, the catcher Ryan is retired. 2 outs and nobody on, and here's George Smith, the second baseman. Smith comes in at 296, 2 home runs, 7 RBIs. You know, that's a good question, Kenyon. Let's look at that again. 1 through 11. I don't remember him ever being fast. What year are you thinking of? I can look it up on the Windows game. Let's knock out this half inning. Lolich to Smith. 4-10 righty. Fly to center and shallow. Demeter coming, charging, and he's got it. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Mickey Lolich. Let's go into my computer game now. Let's check Foy. Oh, let's look him up in 1970, 4 years later. Problem is, he was not with Boston then. Let's see where he was. So what, did he go to the National League? I have to admit I don't know much about Joe Foy. But now you make me wonder. Okay, he was with the Mets in 70. Here we go. Oh my God, and he was an A stealer and a 1 through 16 runner. Yeah, 1972. Kenyon looked up 69. Wow. So let's look at something then. What was his, hang on a second here. When did Foy start playing? Now I'm thinking that Strat-O-Matic may have just taken a year to get the rating right. Let's take a look. Yeah, 66 was his rookie year. Nice job, Kenyon Gray. I think you just uncovered a Strat-O-Matic rating error. The things we learn on these games, right? Or during these games, I should say. Here's Don Wirt to lead off the bottom of the second. Let me pull my stats back up, and we'll see what Wirt has done this year. Wirt just 239, 2 homers, 6 RBIs. Santiago goes into the windup. 6'11", right-handed. He goes the other way with it and lines a base hit into right field, and Wirt is aboard to lead off the bottom of the second. Wirt normally not a threat to run. Let's check the battery. Santiago a +1. Ryan a 0, so he'd be a 14 if he could get the lead. He'll stay put for now. He's not held on. He's also not a star stealer. So he'd have to roll for the lead. He doesn't get it automatically, right? I can't get a scandal. You know, they're not perfect. I've pointed out some things about their ratings myself over the years, but I wouldn't have caught the Foy one, so thank you for that. And here's a Demeter now. Demeter comes in at 250. He's 11 for 44, 2 home runs and 9 RBIs. Santiago working from the stretch. Pitch to Demeter, a 5-5 right-handed, a grounder to shortstop. That's going to be 2. Petrocelli has it, throws to Smith, to Scott, double play. So 6-4-3, and then of course you're always thinking in those situations, maybe I should have had him try to steal. Assuming the dice were the same, he would not have got the lead anyway. He needed a 7. But different role, different time. 2 out, nobody on, and here's Bill Freehan, the catcher. Freehan really off to a struggling start, hitting only 188. He does have a pair of homers and 7 RBIs. There you go, Gandalf, and welcome, by the way. Santiago, the windup, and the pitch to Freehan. 4-7 right-handed is a single on a 1 on a 10. That's a liner speared by Petrocelli. And that will retire the side. Let's take another look at that. Yes, sir. No runs a hit, no one left. We're through 2 in a 1-1 ball game. And that reminds me, I got a story, I don't know why, but seeing the name Gandalf here, when I was working at Safeway, there was a young gal who got married, and they had what would be the word for it? Medieval themed wedding? Those kind of costumes, in other words. Would that be medieval? I'm trying to think of the right word for it. Kind of a, King Arthur, Sword in the Stone theme. Anyway, not many people from the store went. And then Monday morning came in. We all came into work in the morning, and she goes, hardly anybody from work came to my wedding. And I said, well, I'm sorry, Katrina. I would have come, but my Gandalf suit was in the cleaners this weekend. I know, that's terrible, right? That's kind of how I was at the workplace. Santiago will lead things off for Boston in the 3rd. He's a right-handed batter, a 3W. As Lolich goes into the windup. It's a 2-5, swung on and missed, strike 3. Oh, well, sure, it's from the Lord of the Rings, absolutely. And I'm talking about like the time period in general. More of the genre rather than the actual name of the books. I read all the books, by the way, when I was very young, way before they ever thought of making films about them. Read the first one as a high school English assignment and got hooked. And then I purchased or borrowed, or from the library or whatever, but read them all. Excellent, fantastically written stories. Here's Thomas now, 0 for 1. Lolich gets his sign. Pitch to Thomas, a 2-8 left-handed. He struck him out. And Lolich now coming with some heat. He struck out 2 in a row, his first 2 of the game. Now with 2 away, the batter will be Foy, the Strat-O-Matic speed-gypped Foy. He doubled his first time up, came around to score despite his 1 through 11. And now he stands in from the right side as Lolich winds and deals. 3-10 left-handed. It's a 2-hopper to 3rd. Wirtz got it, throws him out, and Foy is retired by his opposite number. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Lolich. So Lolich looking very sharp. Had to get his footing a little bit there in the first inning, but he settled down nicely. Now let's see if Santiago can do the same. Lolich will lead off for Detroit. He's a switch hitter, so he'll be batting lefty against Santiago. 2W. The windup and the pitch. 5-5 left-handed. Hits it the other way. Lazy fly ball to Yastrzemski. Takes a few steps in and puts it away. And here's McAuliffe now. McAuliffe singled and came around to score his first time up. Santiago the windup. Here's the pitch. 6-6 left-handed. Grounder to second base. Smith fields it cleanly. Over to Scott, 2 down. And with nobody on and 2 down, Jerry Lumpy will be the batter. Santiago, the windup and the pitch. 2-6 right-handed. Comebacker. Santiago knocks it down, picks it up, tosses it to Scott, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Santiago, who's also settling in nicely as we're through 3 in a 1-1 contest. Let's throw some team numbers at you, team statistics. That's to me is one of the more telling stats. Boston comes in just hitting just .238 as a team, which it seems to me like they're better than that. Detroit batting .272 as a team. Detroit's hit 23 home runs. The Red Sox have hit 20. Pitching? They're fairly close. Detroit with a 4.29 team run average. Boston at 4.84. And that takes us into the 4th inning. Heart of the order for the Red Sox. Yastrzemski, Scott, and Canigliaro due up. Left on left now as Lolich gets the sign. Big leg kick and the pitch. 5-8 left-handed is a grounder to second base X. That'll be Lumpy, a 4-E-8. Lumpy to the middle. Here's the play on an 11. It's the E rating. An 8 on an E8. And he makes the play. So Yaz retired 4-3X. And with 1 away, George Scott will be the batter. Scott an RBI single his first time up. Lolich into the windup now. 1-2 against the lefty. Base hit into right field. Scott reaches out and drives one the other way. And he's aboard with a 1-out single. Let's check the battery now. Lolich a +3. Freehan a -3, so that's a wash. He'd have to roll a 2 anyway. He's got about as much chance of being picked off as he does getting the lead, so he's not going to try that. Instead, Tony Canigliaro will swing away. Tony grounded out to third his first time up. Lolich from the stretch. 6-8 right-handed. It's a triple to 4, and oh my goodness, that's going to split the gap in right center. Off the wall. Demeter chasing it down. Scott into score, and Canigliaro slides into third with an RBI triple, the second triple of the ball game. 1 on each side. Northrop tripled for Detroit in the first. So it's an RBI triple for Canigliaro, and the Red Sox take a 2-1 lead. And I think Detroit rather, is going to pull the infield in here. With Petrocelli up, I don't know, I just feel like it could be a close game so far. We'll see. Here's the pitch to Rico. 6-7 right-handed, swung on and missed, strike 3. So it didn't matter where the infield was. Lolich strikes him out, his third of the game. And with 2 away, it'll be up to Mike Ryan. Ryan grounded to third his first time up today. Lolich into the windup. Pitch to Ryan. 1-4 left-handed, grounder to third. Wirt to Cash. And that's going to do it. Boston, however, gets a run on 2 hits. They leave a man at third base. And they take a 2-1 lead to the bottom of the fourth. Sounds like somebody's dragging furniture up above me. I don't know if you could hear that or not. Part of the order for Detroit, Cash, Northrup, and Gates Brown as we go to the bottom of the fourth. Santiago getting his sign now. There you go, Kenyon. Renaissance. That's what I was looking for. Thank you. You are the shell answer man today, my friend. Anybody remember that? Probably most of you do, I would assume. Cash flew to left his first time up. Santiago the windup. Here's the pitch to Norm. 1-10. Comebacker. Santiago has it. Flips to Scott. 1 down. And here's Northrup now. Northrup, of course, with the triple in the first inning. Santiago gets the sign. Here's the pitch. 1-5, he walks him. So a 1-out walk to Northrup. First walk issued by Santiago today. In fact, the first walk issued by either pitcher. Northrup a star 15, he'll have to be held on. 16, that would make him a 14. Of course, he has a lot of chances of being automatically out if he tries for the lead, so he won't. Still, he has to be held on or he gets it automatically. Interesting steal rating for Northrup when you look at it closely. And here's Gates Brown. Brown lined to first, his first time up. 1 away. Santiago out of the stretch. Pitch to Gates, a 5-6 left-handed, hits it the other way into left, but that's Yastrzemski territory. He's under it to make the catch, and there's 2 down. And here's Don Wirt. Wirt 1 for 1, singled in the second. Santiago from the stretch, the pitch to Wirt. 3-6 right-handed, that's a base hit up the middle, 2-star. Northrup will round and head right into third. So runners at the corners and 2 away, it'll be up to Don Demeter. Demeter got off to a very hot start in this replay. He's cooled off since then. Comes into this game hitting .250. Bounced into a double play his first time up. Santiago very deliberate now as he gets his sign. Now from the stretch. The pitch to Demeter. 4-8 right-handed to fly into right field. Canigliaro ranging to his right and makes the catch to retire the side. No runs, a hit, 2 left on. We're through 4 innings here in a 1-1 ball game. Not really the kind of game I would expect from these two teams. Detroit, they did anyway. Let's see if they still do. We'll go to the league stats here quickly. I believe they lead the league in runs scored as a team. And they still do, with 84 runs scored, 4 ahead of the Orioles. The Red Sox with 70 are 4th in the league in runs scored. Smith, Santiago, and Thomas due for Boston in the 5th. Let's move these over a little bit. Lolich gets the sign from Freehan. The pitch to Smith. 4-6 right-handed, fly to right field. Northrup's right there. 1 down. That'll bring up Santiago, the pitcher, right-handed batter. Lolich getting his sign. Now here's the pitch. 6-6 to the righty, and he walks him. Oh my, Lolich. the unpardonable sin of walking the opposing pitcher. And with one out, that'll bring up George Thomas. Thomas 0 for 2 today. Lolich gets the sign, now working from the stretch. The pitch to Thomas. 3-11 against the left-hander. That's a single into left, an open single. Left field is Gates Brown, a +1 with a pitcher to left. That would be 10-8, 1 through 9. He'll hold up. So Santiago wisely holds at second. And here's Foy, 1 for 2. First and second, one away. Lolich in a little bit of a jam here now. Trying to get out of it from the stretch. The pitch to Foy. That's a 5-6 right-handed. Swung on and missed strike 3. And Lolich has come up with some clutch strikeouts today, seemingly getting him when he needs them. He got one here in the 4th after the triple. That was a big one. Here's Gaz now. Lolich not out of the woods yet. Yastrzemski 0 for 2 so far against Lolich. Left on left. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a 1-6, and he walks him, and the bases are full. Just a bit outside Yastrzemski, and the bases are loaded with 2 away. And here's George Scott. Scott's 2 for 2. Leads the team in home runs with 4. Lolich, very deliberate now, shakes one off, now nodding. Full wind up, the pitch to Scott. 2-6, struck him out. Another clutch strikeout by Lolich. And that's his 5th K of the ball game. For Boston, no runs a hit. They leave a pair in scoring position. I'm sorry, they leave the bases loaded. What am I saying? So Lolich strikes his way out of the inning in between the walk to Yastrzemski, of course. And it's still a 1-1 game. Anybody's game here as Santiago loosens up for the bottom of the 5th. Freehand, Lolich, and McAuliffe do. Freehand 0 for 1, line to short in the 2nd. Santiago an S6. So this is his first. No, it isn't. We're only in the 5th. Get in the game, Steve. Santiago, the windup, the pitch to Freehand. It's a 4-3 right-handed. Fly ball to right field X. That's Canigliaro, a 3-E8. Canigliaro drifting to his right. Here's the roll on the play. It's the error rating. Roll of a 9 on an E8. He makes the catch for the out. So a nice running catch, Tony. Freehand retired, and here's Lolich. Switch hitter batting lefty. The pitch from Santiago. 5-10 left-handed. Fly to right and shallow. Canigliaro charging now and shoestrings it. 2 flies to right, 2 down, and here's McAuliffe. 1 for 2 today. Santiago now into the windup. Pitch to McAuliffe, a 5-7 to the left-hander, a double to 4 on an 8. He'll settle for a long single, and McAuliffe's 2 for 3. McAuliffe not a threat to steal. And the batter will be Jerry Lumpy. Lumpy's 0 for 2 today. Runner on first, 2 down. From the stretch now, here's Santiago's pitch. 6-5 left-handed. He walks him, ball 4. So Santiago got 2 outs quickly here in the 5th, but now there's 2 on and 2 out. And here comes Norm Cash. Cash 0 for 2. Standing in. Oh man, I almost lost the coffee. Standing in from the left side, Santiago from the stretch. 6'10" left-hander, the fly to center field X. That's Thomas, a 2E11. Thomas going back on it. Here's the play. On an 8, he makes the catch for the out. Nice running catch, George Thomas, to retire the side. No runs, a hit, 2 left on. We're through 5 in a 1-1 game. I'm going to get a paper towel, get a little bit of coffee that's spilled. Boy, it could have been a whole lot worse. Just jarred it a bit. Not quite enough to tip it over. There we go. And we head to the 6th in a 1-1 ball game. Lowlich, like Santiago, an S6 for endurance. So both pitchers entering their first inning of potential fatigue. It'll be Canigliaro, Ryan, and Smith for Boston here in the 6th. Lowlich now gets the sign from Freehand. Here's the windup on the pitch. 6'4" right-handed grounder to third base X. That's Wirt. 2E13 down there to his left. Here's the play. 16. He smothers it, up with it, throws him out. Nice play, Don Wirt. Good defense behind both pitchers today. And here's Petrocelli. He's 0 for 2. Right, Kenyon? His manager once said, man, if the guy could have fielded it at all, he would have loved to have played him every day. Hell of a hitter. And greetings, Jack Brooks. And sure it does. I gotta say, I was not expecting that today. I don't know why, I just kind of had a feeling that these teams were going to come out to hit. That has not been the case so far, though, as Rico Petrocelli stands in. Lowlich into the windup. Here's the pitch for Rico. 5-7 to the righty. A double to 7 on a 17. Rico's going to settle for a long single, and he's aboard with 1 down. And that'll bring up Mike Ryan, the catcher. He's grounded to third both times today. Lowlich set now. From the stretch, 6'6" right-handed, he walks him. Lowlich suddenly having some difficulty with location, and it's first and second one out. And here's George Smith. Smith 0 for 2. Flew to center, flew to right. Lowlich gets the sign now from the stretch. One more hit or walk will fatigue Lowlich. Hank Aguirre, the lefty, Dave Wickersham, the righty, down in the Detroit pen. Lowlich gets the sign now. The pitch to Smith. 1-9 left-handed, a ground ball to second. Lumpy to his left. Only play is to first. Both runners will move up. And Santiago up with 2 down in the 6th. Wow, this is tough. My head tells me it's a pinch hitting situation, but my heart cannot take Santiago out with a 2-1 lead. Oh, did I say 1-1? I've been saying 1-1. I beg your pardon. No, it's 2-1 Red Sox, which you can see there. My apologies, guys. Not my best day, I'm afraid. We shall get through it. We'll let the cards provide the entertainment today. Here's the pitch to Santiago. 5-7 righty. It's a double to 7. That's going to be a 2-star single. Santiago drives in 2 runs with a base hit. Oh my goodness. Petrocelli scores. Ryan in to score. 2 ribbies for Santiago, the pitcher, and it's 4-1 Boston. Holy crap, how about that? And that tires Lolich. And here comes Chuck Dress, and that's going to do it. Man, it can turn in a hurry, can't it? Lolich seemingly in command of the game. It got away from him here in the 6th. He ends up going to 5 2/3 today. He allowed 7 hits. 4 runs so far. The runner on first is his. He walked 3. And struck out 5. And Dave Wickersham's going to get the call. Wickersham, a right-hander. 3.2 ERA, 141 innings, starter and reliever. Let's see what he's done in the replay so far. He's been in 3 games, 2 starts. He's 0-0 with a 10.97 ERA in 10 2/3 innings, 14 hits allowed. He'll be brought on to face George Thomas with 2 away and the pitcher Santiago on first base. Wickersham getting his sign now. Here's the pitch to Thomas. 4-7 right-handed. Single 16 on 10. It's just past Lumpy. Northrup backing it up quickly. Santiago will hold at second on the single by Thomas. And Joe Foy will be the batter. Well, actually, Kenyon, there was a major coffee delay early in the season. And the next time the Houston Astros play, check it out. A lot of those guys had a big drink of coffee. Okay, the pitch to Foy now. 380, walks in, ball 4, and the bases are loaded. So Wickersham not faring much better than Lolich here in the 6th. Thomas down to second. Santiago will take third, and the bases are loaded for Yaz. Holy cow. 2 runs in already. It's 4-1. No place to put him. Full windup now, and the pitch to Yastrzemski. 3-5 right-handed, single to 8 on a 5. That's in there, a 1-star single. Santiago will score. Everybody else 1 base at a time. And that makes it 5-1. And here's Scott as the Red Sox will bat around here in the 6th. Wickersham gets the sign now. Here's the windup and the pitch. 2-5, struck him out. And mercifully for Detroit, that retires the side. For Boston, 3 runs. 4 hits, and they leave the bases loaded. And they'll take a 5-1 lead into the bottom of the 6th. So we can close the book on Lolich now. 5 runs allowed, all earned. And for Santiago's sake, I'm happy I let him bat now. Drove in 2 with a single, and now he's still in the game. Entering his first inning of potential fatigue, he'll be looking at Northrup, Brown, and Wirt. As I said earlier, this Detroit team leads the American League in runs scored. They're not out of this one by any means. Northrup tripled and walked. Santiago, the windup and the pitch. 4-8 left-handed, grounder to first. Scott has it, he'll take it himself. 1 away. And here's Gates Brown. Brown 0 for 2. Santiago the windup. Pitch to Gates. 1-6, single to 2. Just missed it on a 3, and its liner is speared by Scott. So George Scott flashing the leather here in the bottom of the 6th. And here's Don Wirt. Wirt's 2 for 2 today. Singled in the 2nd, singled in the 4th. Santiago gets the sign from Ryan. Now here's the pitch. 6-2 right-handed. That's going to be a high fly ball to deep left field. Back goes, yes! Leaps and catches it at the wall. Oh my God, what a play by Yastrzemski. Homer to 14, it's a 17. Wirt has the power. And it's a loud out and a 1-2-3 inning for Santiago. Oh my. Thank you, Jack. If he'd have been the one trailing 2-1, I think I would have had to hit for him there. Since he had the lead, it made it a little bit easier of a decision. Still wasn't an easy one. You guys know by now I hate taking the starters out unless I have to. One reason I chose a 60s season for the replay was that the starters went longer in those days. Tony C will lead it off for the Sox. Wickersham's going to come back out. He might as well in a 5-1 game. Let's see, it's righty-righty. All right-handed batters due up. The windup and the pitch to Tony C. 1-5, struck him out. And that's 2 Ks in a row for Wickersham. Wickersham, let me look him up on my computer here. It looks to me that he has a little bit of a backwards card. Oh yeah, just slightly. Solid card. And here's Petrocelli. Petrocelli 1 for 3. Wickersham the windup. The pitch to Rico. 3-8 right-handed is a grounder to shortstop. McAuliffe charging on the run. Throws him out. And with 2 down, it will be Mike Ryan, the catcher. Ryan 0 for 2, but his walk was in the 6th was pivotal to that rally. Here's the pitch from Wickersham. 1-6, grounder to third. That's Wirt. Throws him out, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Wickersham. And that will be the last for Wickersham, as he's due to bat third in the 7th. So we can pull him now. Gladding or Pena? Let's take a look here. Okay, they've both been used about equally. It's going to be Fred Gladding. Gladding, a very good card, although the results have not been as such so far. And Santiago prepares to work the bottom of the 7th. Bottom of the order, Demeter, Freehand in the pitcher's spot. Santiago, the sign from Ryan now. Here's the windup, and the pitch to Don Demeter is a 4-6 right-hander. He walks him, ball 4. A leadoff walk to Demeter. And here comes the struggling Bill Freehand. His card's so much better than that. Looking to get it going. 0 for 2 today. What did I say he came in at? Let's take a look. Came into the game hitting just 188. Santiago now from the stretch. 6-3 to the right-handers. A fly to left field X, but that's Yaz country, a 1E6. And here's the roll on the play. 17, he's got it. Easy play for Yastrzemski. 1 down. And now we'll have a batter for Wickersham. Wickersham worked 1 1/3. 2 hits. No runs. Walked 1, struck out 2, and Fred Gladding will be the next pitcher for Detroit. Right now they need a batter. They did not use any substitutions in real life in this game. You can see the real life score right there, a different matter entirely, as it often is with Strat-O-Matic. And Jake Wood grabs a bat. He'll lead things off here. I'm sorry, he won't lead things off. Runner on first, 1 down. So here's Wood now. Wood uses the pinch hitter so far this year. He's 2 for 4. Santiago comes set from the stretch. Pitch to Wood. 6-10 right-handed fly to center field X. That's going to be Thomas. 2E11. Thomas going back on it. Here's the play. He's got it. 2 down. So 2 X plays to the outfield. And it'll be up to McAuliffe. McAuliffe's 2 for 3. Santiago now gets the sign. Here's the pitch to McAuliffe. 3-6 against the righty. He struck him out. Some nifty pitching there by Santiago after issuing the leadoff walk. And that's it for the Tigers in the 7th. We're through 7. It's 5-1 Boston. Here's Gladding now. Nice card. As I said, the results haven't quite been there yet. He's been in 6 ball games. He's 0-1 with 1 save and a 12.15 ERA across 6 2/3 innings. So very early yet, but Gladding has not lived up to his card so far. It'll be Smith, Santiago, and Thomas for the Sox here in the 8th inning. I want to thank everybody for hanging out with me today. Enjoy the company. A little tired today, but that's okay. Here's Smith, 0 for 3. Gladding ready to go now. The sign from Freehand. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a 3-7 against the righty. A grounder to shortstop. That's McAuliffe. 1 away. Santiago now with a 4-run lead will definitely bat here. Right-handed batter. Gladding's pitch, a 4-3, pops him up left side. McAuliffe again, under it. Makes the catch, and quickly there are 2 away in the 8th. And here's George Thomas now. Thomas, 2 for 4. Gliding into the windup. It's a 5-12 righty, a grounder to first base X. That's going to be Cash, a 2E18. Cash to his right. Here's the play. On a 10 E rating, it's a 7 on an 18, and he boots it. Error Cash. And Thomas is aboard. First error of the ball game. And it's on Detroit. And that'll give Joe Foy another chance. Foy 1 for 3 with a walk. Gladding gets the sign now from the stretch. Pitch to Foy. 3-5. Tapper to short. McAuliffe has it. Shovels to Lumpy. And that'll do it. No runs, no hits, 1 left on. There was an error. We go to the bottom of the 8th, the Sox leading 5-1. It'll be Lumpy, Cash, and Northrup. Righty Ken Sanders, lefty Dennis Bennett begin tossing lightly in the Boston pen as Jerry Lumpy steps in. 0 for 2 with a walk. Santiago trying to go the distance here. Here's the windup and the pitch to Lumpy. 1-8 righty, grounds it to second. That's going to be Smith. He's got it and throws him out. And here's Norm Cash. Cash quiet today, 0 for 3. Santiago gets the side now. Here's the windup. Here's the pitch to Cash. 6-4 lefty. Catcher's card X. That's going to be Ryan. A 2E3, fine defensive catcher, as mentioned previously. Here's the play. On an 8, he makes the pop-up to the catcher. He makes the play. So 2 out quickly, and it's up to Northrup. 1 for 2 with a walk. Santiago pitching a gem here. He's only allowed 5 hits in the game. The windup, the pitch to Northrup. 5-10 to the left-hander. Fly to right and shallow. Here comes Canigliaro. Still coming. Just does catch up with it to retire the side. And the Tigers are running out of outs. As we finished 8 innings here in Detroit, it's 5-1 Red Sox. And Fred Gladding will come out for his 2nd inning of work and face the heart of the Boston order, Yaz, Scott, and Canigliaro. Gladding gets the sign from Freehand. Here's the windup and the pitch to Yaz. It's a 1-9. Grounder to short. McAuliffe has it. Throws him out. Look at that. Right in Yaz's good column, too. A 1-9 grounder to short. 1 away, and here's Scott. George Scott, 2 for 4. And here's the pitch now from Gladding. 6-3 to the righty. Pitcher, grounder to the pitcher X. Gladding a 3E39. This could be an adventure. Here's the play, 11. The roll is an 8 on a 39, and he boots it, not surprisingly. E1, error on Gladding. 2nd error of the game for the Tigers. So Scott's aboard with 1 out, and here's Tony C. 1 for 4. Gladding staring in now from the stretch. Pitch to Tony C. 4-4 right-handed. It's a fly to center field X. That's going to be Demeter, a 3E7. Demeter drifting back on the ball now, racing back. Here's the play. He's got it on a 20. Fine play. Demeter, 8X. Tony C. retired, and here's Petrocelli. Petrocelli's 1 for 4 today. Gladding from the stretch. 2-11 right-handed base hit into left field. That's going to be an open single. Scott can try to go to third on that. Let's check his running. He's a 13. 211 to third, so that subtracts to 11. Brown's 112. There's no sense in doing that. With a 4-run lead, he'll hold up at second. And Mike Ryan will get another at bat. Ryan 0 for 3 with a walk. Grounded out to third 3 times. Walked and scored in the 6th. Gladding pitch. 6-7 swung on and missed strike 3, and that'll do it. And now we go to the bottom of the 9th. Tigers need 4 to tie. Good afternoon to Dave Little, and welcome, sir. Happy baseball indeed. We've got spring training games. We've got Strat-O-Matic. Oh, Jack, one of you guys sent me this. Bob. I won't say his last name. I'm not sure if he'd want me to, so I won't. But he sent me an email with this attached. He said, here, try this. You might like it. And I got to say, I love it. Room for more pitchers. And more space to put the fielding ratings. Santiago trying to go the distance. An S6 rated starter. Gates, Brown, Wirt, and Demeter standing in his way. Gets his sign from Ryan. Brown left-handed hitter. 0 for 3 today. Santiago winds and deals. 1-7, grounder to second. Smith to his left, scoops it up, throws to Scott. That's 1. Here's Don Wirt now, 2 for 3 on the day. Santiago staring in now. Here's the windup and the pitch. 2-9 right-handed. That's into the gap. That's going to roll all the way to the wall. Wirt rounding. Wirt's in with a double. So Don Wirt 3 for 4 today. How about that? And here's Don Demeter now. Demeter 0 for 2 with a walk. Ken Sanders is ready. Santiago trying to finish it. Here's the pitch to Demeter. 6-5 to the right. He swung on and missed strike 3. And oh my God, Santiago's got something left in the tank after all. And the Tigers are down to their last out in the form of ice-cold Bill Freehan. He came into the game hitting just 188. He's 0 for 3 today. Much better card than that. Well, he only hit 234 that year, so that wasn't one of his better years. Still, 12 home runs. Better than a 180 hitter, that's for damn sure. So Freehan trying to get untracked. He's the last hope for Detroit. Santiago gets the sign. Here's the pitch to Freehan on a 3-4. Grounder to third. Foy over to Scott. And that's the ball game. No runs, a hit, 1 left. What a game by Santiago. Boy, that might be his game of the year. What do you think? Decent card, though. Nothing wrong with that card. So we'll get the totals here for you. For Santiago, that's his first decision of the year. He finally picks up a win. He's 1-0. A 6-hitter. He walked 3. Looks like he hardly struck out anybody. 2. Only 2 strikeouts against 3 walks. But he got it done. What a game. 6-hitter. Gladding worked 2 innings. He gave up 1 hit, no runs. All the runs charged to Lolish, who takes the loss. He's 3-2 now. Glading did not walk anyone. He struck out 1. So for the Red Sox, 5 runs on 10 hits, no errors. Detroit, 1 run, 6 hits. They made 2 errors. The errors did not contribute to any of the scoring, however. Absolutely, Jack. I am in agreement there. Your chief Spokane Gary, player of the game, Jose Santiago, with the complete game 6-hitter. They broke it open in the 6th with 1 out, single, a walk, a ground out, 2 runs, and Santiago drove in 2 runs. He was 1 for 3 with a walk, 2 RBIs, and scored a run. So in addition to the 6-hitter, hell, he was one of the offensive stars of the ball game. Yeah, I'd say he's the player of the game, Jack. So, Jack, if you want to drop me an email, I'll see what I can do if I can pass that along somehow. I have to warn you in advance. I'm fairly technically challenged. In fact, people who know me cannot even believe that I'm streaming. Sometimes I can't even believe it myself. Tomorrow's ball game will feature the Chicago Cubs at the Houston Astros. There you go, Kenyon. The Astros speak and they shall arrive. Bill Hands will start for the Cubs. Dave Giusti for the Astros. We can revisit the great coffee incident of 24. Okay, guys. Thanks again for hanging out with me. That's it for me. I got to eat and maybe doze off a little bit. Thanks, everybody. Have a very pleasant evening. Take care, guys.